What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. Today, we're finally going to be taking a look at the Medicom toy or Mafex Batman the Night Crusader. And I know it took me a little while to get my hands on this one. He was mixed in with a pre-order that I ended up having to cancel. And honestly, I thought that this guy had sold out everywhere, so I wasn't going to be able to get my hands on him without paying scalper prices. But luckily, they still had a few left in stock on AmiAmi, as I think they still do as of right now. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and dive right into the sexy packaging so we can bust this badass looking figure open. Now, when it comes to the sexy packaging, as you guys can see, it does look pretty much identical to what we got with the Nightfall Batman a little while ago. As you can see, it is black and more of a maroon-ish red color. You got the DC logo right there. You got Batman in the packaging looking really dope. Image of him right here on the front. It says Night Crusader Batman action figure at the bottom. Batman, Mafex, Medicom toy, Batman at the top. A bunch of nothing at the bottom. We've got an image of him right here holding his bat claw or batarang, whatever you want to use it for, grappler. We've got almost a full body image of him right here. Well, I mean, we get the body, but not the whole cape. All the extra stuff right there. Then, of course, on the back, you've got all of the poses you can get the figure into, as well as some of the accessories that he comes with. Anyway, let's go ahead and bust this guy out of the packaging because I'm already late reviewing it. Now, right out of the packaging, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is one of the best looking 1/12 scale Batman figures of all time. And I mean, I'm comparing this to any and everything. I know everyone has their own opinions on what Batman that might be. And I'm not saying that this is the best Batman figure in 1/12 scale. I'm saying it is one of the best looking. Like, Medicom toy has really showcased how far they have come in terms of making action figures, especially if you compare this to the Batman Hush figure, which I'll show side by side in a little bit. But as of right now, we're just going to focus on this guy. This figure looks amazing, you guys. And even though I'm not someone who particularly cares for blue and gray on Batman, I'm more of a black and gray guy. I gotta say, I wouldn't have this figure any other way. And of course, this is what he wore in the comics anyway, but I'm just saying because we know Medicom toy likes to make variants. Now, of course, I would enjoy seeing one, but if this was the only thing that we got from them, I'm completely fine with this. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this guy so we can examine some of these fine details. Now, taking a closer look at this figure, I am going to go ahead and get right into my own personal dislike right away. And it's not something to do with the figure itself. I think it's more so Medicom Toys plastic. I don't know what it is, but on the heads of a lot of their figures, they have this little shine right here. And it looks like a fingerprint on the figure, like you touched it with grease or something like that. And I see that a lot. Instead of it just being a smooth sculpt all around, you get these little areas where when light hits it, they turn this like whitish color, as you guys can see. So I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. But other than that, the head sculpt looks amazing. That looks like an angry Batman, and it's just done so well, man. I love what they did with just even the sculpting of the jawline on this guy. And I know that's a very small detail, but just everything looks so good about this head sculpt, and that translates all the way through the figure, man, all the way down. First off, I don't really care for this spiky cowl, but it's not a bad thing. I just prefer his regular cowl. Either way, it still looks good. I like how they have where it kind of transitions into the cape. Not a smooth transition, obviously. It just goes from hard plastic to a soft fabric, but that's fine with me. I mean, a lot of companies do that. The body on this guy is just insane. And actually, let me grab my Hush Batman so I can show you guys a comparison. Now look at the muscle definition on this new Batman in comparison to the Hush Batman. Like, it is just so much more toned. This guy looks so much more bulky, beefy, whatever you want to say, especially along the torso. Now, obviously, they had to do a completely new sculpt for the torso because they couldn't reuse that in terms of making this Batman. But the arms, they do kind of look like they are the same mold. And then I'd say even the same thing for the legs. Like the thighs and everything are sculpted almost the same, but they do look like they kind of beefed them up a bit on this new Batman. He looks much more bulky than the Hush version, which I like. Even though it seems like they are just going to continue reusing this same book, I guess, if that's what you want to say, for most of their superhero figures. I do like the fact that sometimes they kind of tone them up a little bit more, make them look a little bit more broad, make them look more bulky, whatever. But yeah, I don't know why they continue to do this. A lot of their figures do look the same, but in terms of this, I'm okay with it. I love what they did with the abs. My boy got the 8-pack. It looks so nice. The Bat logo sculpted very, very well. The belt looks nice. The underwear painted on, obviously. It is a separate piece. The legs and everything look good. The paint, it's just so good on this guy. Very clean. The only place where it is a little messy is the Bat logo. It's not the best, but they're known for not having the best looking logos. Now, if you look at it from far away, then it's fine. But taking a close look at it, you'll see all of the imperfections. But yeah, from front to back, man, this thing just looks good. It looks really, really good, yo. I can't say that enough. Now, anyway, I spent a lot of time talking about just the details, so let's go ahead and move forward. When it comes to the height of this guy, to the top of his head, he's just shy of 7 inches. To the top of his bat horns, to the top of his head, he's actually at about 6.5. So pretty tall figure, but I believe this is a standard height for most Medicom toy action figures. Articulation-wise, it is pretty standard for Medicom toy. It's what we've grown to get used to at this point, which, I mean, that's fine because most of their figures pose very well. He looks up about that much, but you got to be careful because you do get a little bit of gapping in there. He looks down very well. Also, really good tilt and turn. You can get Batman to be very, very expressive with very little effort. His arms go up and out about that much. So those back gliding poses where he's holding on to his cape, not going to be a problem. You can bring them in all the way, so the butterfly joints are very effective. You can get him in a Batmobile driving, you can get him into throwing the batarangs, whatever it is you want to do. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that are very effective, and so that means you can totally get him into those back guarding poses or those fighting stances, whatever it is you want to do with it. Hands are on a little peg right here, much more sturdy than usual and still very effective, as you guys can see. At the diaphragm, he leans back about that much. Watch for gapping. He leans forward just a little bit at the diaphragm. You're going to get much more out of the waist going forward, but not so much back. He does turn. I was trying to see if he could. The abs are kind of preventing him a little bit, but he does move around very well at the diaphragm when you're posing him. But this piece right here, this upper piece, does kind of rub against the abs, so be careful for paint rub. Watch out for that. He does turn at the waist, no problem. A little bit tougher to turn than most figures, but it's still effective. Drop down legs, meaning that he kicks all the way up, not going to be a problem. Splits poses, he can do it about that much. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees that are a little stiff on mine. Might need to heat this guy up. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, again, very, very standard for Medicom toy, but it is effective and it gets the job done. And one thing I wanted to make sure I cover is the cape, yo. The bendy wire in this thing is just outstanding. There's almost nothing that you can't do with this cape. It really comes to life just like this figure, especially once you've got him all posed up however you want to pose him, and you've got the cape going however you want it to. It just really makes this figure look so much better, man. It's outstanding. I love what they did with this. Now, when it comes to accessories, it's not bad what you get, but it definitely is quite lackluster. First off, you get a neutral head sculpt and a pair of fist hands right out of the packaging. Then you get a pair of Superman flying / diving hands in terms of this Batman here. You do get a pair of cape holding hands right here. And the reason I say that is because if you look, you can see there's a bit of separation between the thumb and pointing finger. That's for you to insert the edges of the cape into the fingers. He does come with a pair of holding hands right here, and I believe these are for his little batarang, bat grappler, whatever it is that you want to consider it. He comes with a pair of relaxed hands. Then he comes with a pair of reaching, posing, stylist type hands. This is for when he's like swinging from building to building. He comes with an interchangeable cowl. And this is for whenever he just isn't wearing the cape. And again, it's for when he's swimming, which is also what this faceplate right here or head sculpt right here is for, which this was absolutely unnecessary in my opinion. They made a swimming Batman figure and that thing didn't sell at all. So this was something they could have easily left out and just gave us a teeth gritted face for this head sculpt. I would have been so much happier with that. But instead, we get a teeth gritted face with the long bat ears, which is cool. I'm glad that they threw this in, but I still would rather have an angry face for the short-eared version as well, just because I like that better. I'm probably not really going to display my Batman with the long bat ears, but for those of you who are, then hey, I'm happy for you. Last but not least, he comes with this little piece right here, which is, it's just like a little grapple, man. It doesn't connect to anything. Again, I think this is for whenever he's swinging from building to building. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't read this comic, but yeah, we do get this. And I almost forgot about this, but he does also come with an interchangeable cape. It's pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference is it doesn't have the spikes on the cowl, which this is the one I prefer. This is how I'm going to keep him posed. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these out really quick. And while I'm at it, one other thing I did want to try on camera is putting a Bruce Wayne head on this body. Now, obviously, he doesn't come with one, but I do have the one from my Hush Batman. And trying to peg it on, it's not going. I think that the ball peg on this new Batman is a little bit bigger. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, it definitely is a little bigger. So, yeah, sadly, you're not going to be able to put your Batman Hush Bruce Wayne head on this body for anyone who was thinking about doing so. And also, you can't swap the neck either because, I mean, look, the cowl is one piece, so that's just not going to work. So, yeah. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to some of the Batman Hush line, which I think he fits in scale with these perfectly. As you can see, we have him standing next to Batman Hush on the left, Superman on the right, and then to the very far right, we also have him standing next to Catwoman. Next up, for some more Hush releases, here he is standing next to the Medicom toy The Joker, the Medicom toy Harley Quinn, and probably their best figure, the Medicom toy Nightwing. Lastly, for some extras, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Street Fighter Johnny Bravo. We have him standing next to the SH Figuarts Kaiju number 8. And we also have him standing next to the Marvel Legends single pack version, Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this release, I'm pretty sure it's obvious how I feel. It's a Batman figure, it's Medicom toy, and it's a damn good looking Batman figure. And it's Batman. That's like literally all there is to it. You ever see those memes where people were like, I'm Batman, or it's Batman, and it's cool just because it's Batman? That's literally how I feel about this figure. And I know I've said Batman a million times, but it's Batman, like for real. That's all there is to it. And so, yes, I recommend this figure. While it's not the best and there are some things that could have been done better, what I feel like Medicom Toy is probably going to do is release another figure from this particular comic book. And that's where we're going to get our short-eared Batman with the teeth-gritted face and maybe a few other accessories, because Medicom Toy is also known for their Build-A-Figure-esque type ways of dropping action figures. For instance, you buy, I don't know, Hush. you get a head sculpt for what I'm sure is going to be a future Red Hood. And then you buy just whatever. You guys know what I mean. It's just something that they have been doing for quite a while. As of right now, my brain is too tired to be thinking of examples. And so, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But overall, it's a very solid figure, man. It looks good. Pose is great. Comes with enough accessories. That's where it's the biggest bit of lackluster for me, but other than that, I absolutely enjoy this. The cape is amazing. It is a very big upgrade from the Hush version of Batman, and to be honest, I would have felt so complete if I had only gotten just a teeth gritted face. That would have been so perfect. But when it comes to the accessories, if you do have any of the other Medicom toy Batman figures, you can mix and match. Some of them, you can get the bat grapples and things in his hands, or batarangs is what I meant to say, not the bat grapples. So you can get him with some batarangs if you want. Sadly, there's just not any that comes with this figure. It's just a little grappler batarang. But yeah, I do recommend it. So if you haven't gotten your hands on this guy, make sure you pick it up, because I know that Azrael shot up in price. That thing is like $200+ right now, and I'm really hoping they give us a reissue. I'm expecting the same thing to happen with the Bane figure that's going to be releasing sometime this month. That is going to be a lot of people's definitive Bane. If you have not pre-ordered that, I'm going to tell you right now, make sure you do that. And for the people that have Azrael and they also pre-ordered Bane, even if they are getting Bane before they get this Batman, they're probably going to double back and get this Batman. So make sure you don't miss out on this guy, because he's definitely worth adding to your collection. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, make sure you guys have a great rest of your night. And follow me on everything you see listed in the description below. Peace out, guys. Your boy's tired.